Hello. So now this one, I'm going to cover the 10p's, and I'm going to cover all the 10p's that I think are worth keeping. So regardless of whether that's the A to Z's or whether that's the 10p's that are in circulation or old 10p's or whatever, but any of these ones that I'm going to give you, these are ones that are worth looking out for. If you get the chance to come across any of them for free, or you know, in your change, as it were, then keep them. Keep every single one that you get. That's my advice on all the ones I'm going to tell you, right? Including like the old big ones. And you might think, well, how could I possibly get old big ones? Well, you can get old big ones just by going to the bank, your bank, or the post office, and asking if they've got any that other people have handed in. Because if someone's got old 10p's and they take them to the bank has to give them 10p each for them. And then the bank will keep them there in the bank for a certain amount of time, and then they'll all go off to head office, and where all the banks from all over the country send it all off to head office, and then they'll get back to the mint some way and melt it down again. So the banks, rather than have all that paperwork, they're quite happy to cash in the ones that they've got. So if they've got any, they'll let you have them. All right. So, and I'm Ian, and this is the Great British Coin Hunt. So our website is www.thegreatbritishcoinhunt.com. Let's get that out there, because there'll be a lot of people, no doubt, that watch this vid and you're not our customers or don't know our website. And I often get people leaving comments saying, what's your website? So if I tell you in the video, we get the advertising out of the way, because we are in business to make money at the end of the day. But all this information I'm giving you now is free. Just don't copy it, and you know, you put your own spin on the information. Okay, so we'll start off. Now these first ones, these ones are the old large ones. So we're looking at 1972 and 1978. 1972, 1978, proof year only, and not just those two, but 1982 right away through to 1992 large head. I say that because they also started the 1992, the small coin, if you like, that we use now, that's in your change now. That came out in 1992, so you'll see some with 1992 on it. They're worthless, they're not worth anything. But if you've got a big one with 1992, then that's essentially a proof year, because they didn't go into circulation. So the 72, the 78, and then 82 right through to 92 for the big large ones, they're all worth between 10 and 15 quid each. And this is selling them on an individual basis as a business. This is the price I sell them for. Now, of course, you know, you as a business, you as an individual don't have the expenses I have as a business, and so on. And if you just happen to have 3 or 4 that Grandad's left you, and you can't be bothered to sell them or stick out for the maximum price, well, now you know they're worth between 10 and 15 quid. If you sell it for a fiver, that's up to you. Of course it is. But what I'm giving you is the prices, the sort of maximum prices that we have sold them for and do sell them for on an ongoing basis. That's the most important thing to sort of know, is that, you know, I'm not telling you the prices that they have to be, etc. I'm just telling you the prices that we sell them for or have sold them for, and that is how I work out the values. I don't work out the values by what other people tell me might or might not be. I like to work out the values as much as I can based on actual evidence on what I sell. And these are the prices that we've sold them at for a couple of years now. So there you go, 10 to 15 quid each for those proof year old 10p. And while we're on the subject of the proofs, let's also not forget, we've got the 93, 94, 98 and 99. They're all proof years, and again, they're in the region of 15 quid mark, depending on whether it's circulated or good condition. For uncirculated, probably 20 quid for a proof year coin, but anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds, so an average price of about 15 quid is about right for those. But you know, like I say, you choose, if you've got them, what you sell them for, but I value them between that figure. They're not worth more than 20 quid, and they're certainly not worth less than a tenner. We put them at about 15 quid, so, you know. So that's those, that's all. While we're on the subject of 10p's, one thing that that a lot of people are not aware of is that up to 2011, so either up to 2010 or 2011, I forget now which one of them sticks to a magnet and which one don't. But I think it's from 2011 onwards, so they're made of steel, which sticks to a magnet, whereas previous to that, they don't stick to a magnet. And so because of that, a lot of the coins are being taken out. Because we're also in the era of a lot of our coins are actually worth more than the face value of the coin. So for example, a 10p might be worth 12 pence in scrap value, if you see what I mean. Like a 1p is worth 3 pence, 2 to 3 pence in scrap copper value. So obviously the government, the Treasury, the Royal Mint don't want coins out there that are worth more money. Otherwise you end up in a sixpence scenario where, you know, all the sixpences, or most of the silver money anyway, before 1947 contained silver content. So the further back that you go, the more silver content there is in the coin. And of course there are a lot of people out there, unscrupulous people, that will take the coins with the silver content in and melt them down in the back of the garden or whatever to get the silver, because it's profitable. It's illegal, but it's profitable. So if you allow a coin to be worth more money, too much more money in scrap value than what the face value of the coin is, you end up getting in a scenario where you have lots of cottage industries all over the place melting down in the back of the garden, which is all illegal. So they've been taking them all out, and they take out as many as they can. And they're doing this to a lot of our coinage, 10p's, 5p's, 1p's, 2p's, and so on, before certain dates. So, and I think that the cut-off date, if memory serves me, is 2011. So everything before then is actually coming out of circulation, bit by bit. So even though they may have made quite a few of a coin, in some ways, just from a piece of fun to be able to put away something that doesn't cost you much, there are some that are worth you keeping. Like, for example, if you look at the 2002 10p, they made 80 million of those. I know it sounds like a lot, but don't be put off by the number. 2003, 88 million. 2004, 99 million. 2005, 69 million. Now all of these, all of the dates, whether it be 2006, 118 million, or whether it be 2001, 129 million, whatever, all of these dates are being taken out. You have coins like 1995, 43 million, 1996, 118 million, 1997, 99 million. So that old 95 coin is one of the lowest mintages, still 43 million. So a lot, you know, you might, once you knew that it was 43 million, you might discard it out of hand. I wouldn't discard that out of hand. I haven't let a 1995 go in 6 years, because I know that even though there's 43 million of them in circulation or made for circulation, I know that there cannot be 43 million in circulation, because they've been taking coins out of circulation for the last 5 years. So how many 95s have been taken out of circulation? How many millions have been taken out of circulation along with all the others? So these are coins that I would say to you, I mean, a 1995 is worth a couple of quid, you know, at the moment. But in 10 years, that might probably be a fiver. And you might think, well, that's not a lot of money, is it? But for a 10p, to put a 10p aside in the back of your cupboard now, that's cost you 10p, and in 10 years' time you get a fiver for that 10p, that's 50 times your money. There's not many things that you can do that with. I often say that. There's not many things you can make that kind of profit with. It's different if you're buying them, but if you're literally finding them in your change, you know, these are coins that you could just look for. Everybody, a lot of us, I grew up with people collecting change in a jar. How many of you collect change in a jar? Just get your change and chuck it in the jar. And then every now and again you might count that jar up and do something with it. Well, I would say don't do that. Have your jar, and then look at these videos for the coins I tell you about, and literally when you've got change to chuck in that jar, look at your change. And if you haven't got one of these dates, don't put it in the jar, because it's not going to serve you any purpose. Putting 10p in the jar or putting 10p in more change to get more change when you buy a next cup of coffee or whatever, to look at that change. put the dates in the jar that are worth something, now that jar's worth saving up. Now that jar, you know that no matter how big that jar gets, as big as it gets, you know you're saving a serious amount of money. And it's costing you absolute pennies. This is the thing I say to people. It's costing you pennies. You put a 10p away now, it's cost you 10p. If that coin is worth 3 or 4 quid now, it's already 30 or 40 times its money. But in 10 years, what's it going to be then? So that's what I think anyway. And so as I know that people follow me, and I often always say too, you know, there's 2 sides to every argument, 2 sides to every debate, or more than 2 sides, and people see it differently to the way I see it. So for those people that don't agree with my predictions or the amounts I give or whatever, that's fine. You're entitled to that opinion, and I don't mind discussing it in the comments section. I only delete the people that get abusive, but someone's in trouble. But these are the ones that, if they come my way, if I look in my change and I see these dates, I never, ever, ever, no matter how many I've got, never, ever, ever do I chuck them back in the change. They go in a pot. Every time go in a pot. The ones that don't make the list, they're the ones you chuck away. You don't want them. You don't want to save 10p just for saving 10p. You want to save a 10p that's going to be saving a fiver. That's what you want. So dates like 1995, I would keep them. I'd keep anything that's around about 100 million or under 100 million. And I know 1996 just goes over that a little bit, so I'm breaking my own rule there, but I do collect, I save every 96 that I get. And I save every 97 that I get. And another reason I'll do it is because I do sell coins by the 100 to manufacturers and one thing and another. So, you know, people will want a particular year, like for 21st birthdays and stuff, that changes every year. So, and there'll be different coins that people will use on the 21st birthdays this year to the date that they'll use next year, and so on. So, hard to get dates are really, really, really worth keeping. So 95, 96, 97. The proof years that I've given you, like 93, 94, 98, 99, although they're proof years and you shouldn't find any in your change, I can tell you, you will find some. If you look, you'll find them. We have, and we found every one of them dates in the change. Somebody somewhere has broken open a set, or the Royal Mint hasn't been honest about what they've put in circulation, whatever. You know, because what happens to the odd coins that don't make the grade for the proof year market? Do they melt them down, or do they just go, just chuck them in, 10p's? You know, not thinking that they're worth 15 quid each. So then I would also, I don't let go 2002, 2003, 2004, or 2005, or 2007. They are dates that I would keep. Now, but only keep because you'll keep finding them, so only keep them if you can afford to keep them. But if you're going to chuck coins in a jar, those are the dates to chuck in the jar. If I haven't mentioned the date, don't bother putting it in a jar. Now here's one here for a separate box all on its own, is the Britannia 2008. It's got a picture of the Britannia, you know, with the stake, pike thing. There's a name for it, trident. It's got the 3-pronged thing. Anyway, 2008 Britannia, they only made 9,720,000 of those, and 9 million does sound a lot, I know. However, as I've also said, my line that I choose changes on the denomination of the coin. So 9 million to me, that's a low amount for a denomination that's a 10p, because all the other years are not, like with the 50p for example, you'll have 3 million made, 1 million made, 2 million made, 6 million made, 16 million made is like a huge amount, 5 million is an average, and so on. But with 10p's, they make 129 million, 134 million in 2000, 2001, 129 million, not worth saving. Absolutely not worth saving, they make too many. So some of them, just not worth saving. But you see, with these figures, 129 million, 100 million, 100 million, 80 million, 90 million, 80 million, 60 million, these are all figures. You add all them up together, and then you go and make one with only 9 million or 10 million, suddenly that 10 million is just swallowed up by the hundreds, over 1 billion other 10p's that are out there. You know, so your chances of finding a 2008 Britannia are not brilliant because they're really, really hard to find, but you will find them. and they are honestly worth, you know, £3 to £5 at the moment in 2019. So they'll be worth, if they're worth £3 to £5 now, I think we sell them an average of about £4 or £5. So if they're worth that now, in 10 years' time, with a lot being taken out of circulation because they're before 2011, remember, I would say that they'll be around about a tenner each in 10 years' time. Now, you find a 2008 Britannia in your change at the moment that costs you 10p. You put that 10p away in your jar, the jar that's worth keeping, and that turns into 100 times its value over 10 years. I mean, it's immense. You know, you'll be putting your kids through college on stuff like this. You'll be putting kids through university on stuff like this. Honest to God. You started collecting all the coins that were worth collecting and only putting them in your jar. You put your kids through university for free. You know, it's mental, the amount of money that could be made, and it's just in your pocket all the time. And it's the one thing that, I know it's digression, but it's the one thing I talk about my dad and, you know, hello dad, and my mum, and mum, and people and friends and one thing and another is, as I say to them, well, the one thing I can't believe is that, but I can believe it because I'm doing it, is that all my life, whatever I've been chasing the wrong place. It was in my pocket all the time, and I never knew it until 6 years ago. So now we get into the realms of, you know, 2009, that's got 84 million. 2010, 96 million, 2011, 59 million. So, and of course, it's everything before 2011, so that's coming out. Now, the 2012 has 11,600,000. It's not a particularly easy coin to find. It's not a hard coin to find either, but it's not a particularly easy coin to find because they only made 11 million. Now, as time goes on, that will get swallowed up more and more with the coins that come into circulation, but it's not one of the coins that's being taken out of circulation because it's 2012, it's after 2011, and therefore it's not being taken out of circulation. So those 11,600,030 will always be in circulation, if you see what I mean. But still, I think it's worth saving. 2013, they put 320 million 10p's in. In 2014, they put 490 million 10p's in. So they're not worth saving. They'll never be worth saving. They'll never be worth any money. Yes, I sell them for £1 each, but the only reason I sell them for £1 each on eBay is because you can't sell anything less than £1. On our own website, we'll be changing the prices and stuff like that. It's different. But these coins, I made so many of them. I mean, that's 700, that's 810,400,000. So 810.5 million just in 2 dates, 13 and 14. There's nearly $1 billion there without all the others. So it's no wonder that you get things like 2012 at 11 million and the 2000 and the next one I'm going to talk about, which is the 2017, and ignore everything else, the 13, 14, 15 and the other 15, fifth portrait, 16, not worth it, not worth saving, ridiculous amounts there. But the 2017, only 24,500,000. That's a coin that's already worth a couple of quid. Now, you know, within 2 years of it being made, it's already worth a couple of quid. Put that away, 2017, and every single one of you will find a 2017 in your change. Put that coin away, and you're putting away 10p in your jar that is going to be worth a fiver in 10 years. So that's 50 times its money. See, so the coins that are not on the list, don't put them in the jar. Take your jar, sort your jar out now, keep all the dates that I'm telling you to keep, all the rest, change them for dates that are worth keeping. And then, how much value would you have if you filled your jar up with just the key dates? That's the thing. So, 2017, 24,500,000. Okay, so that's all the 10p sorted out that you're likely to find in your change or get from the bank or whatever. So, now the last one to move on to quickly, because we're running out of time as usual, because I waffle. The other thing that we want to talk about is your A to Z 10p's. I cannot stress enough how valuable these coins are and will be. We've managed to catch up with all of our advance orders on A to Z 10Ps. The only ones that we haven't caught up on are the ones we can't supply because we haven't found them in change yet, that are in normal condition, and that the people want us to find them from our change rather than upgrade. But if you're waiting for a set, if you upgrade it, then you'll get a bunch set straight away. Anyway, so the A to Z sets. In 2018, they produced 5.2 million. That's 52. There's 26 different letters. 26 times 2 is 52. So 5.2 million divides up as if you made exactly the same amount of every single letter, that would be 200,000. Now remember, the Kew Gardens 50p, around about 210,000, and after 10 years that one coin has reached 100, 150 quid. I've seen it sell for 150 quid. So these 10p's, they're all got, if they made the same amount of every letter, it'd be 200,000 maximum. Now, did they make the same amount of every letter? We don't know yet. We've got to wait and find out. But any coin with a mintage of 200,000 or less from a 50p, if a 50p coin with a 200,000 mintage goes to 150 quid in 10 years, a 10p coin with a 200,000 mintage, when you've got other years that have got 150 million, 130 million, 60 million, 90 million, you've got all them several billions of 10p's in the big melting pot, and you're now going to put 200,000 of each letter into that melting pot. The chances of people being able to find those letters, unreal. It's just, and to try and explain that to you now, when you can see them easily for sale for a couple of quid each, would, as a buyer, would make me go, Ian, what are you talking about? You're talking out your arse. You're talking out your bum. You know, they're easier. I can get them for a couple of quid. You can, and I sell them for a couple of quid. But I am absolutely, I can't rave about this enough. In 10 years, they're going to be 20, 30 quids each. More. Absolutely more. A 50p Kew Gardens goes to that kind of money. A 10p, and these are letters that everybody wants. You know, Kew Gardens doesn't signify anything in somebody's name, but the letter J does, and the letter K does, and the letter, you know, the letter S. Already the letter S is up to 7, 8 quid. The letter S, going to a tenner, sure, soon. That's just the letter S. There's another one that's gone to a fiver already. So these A to Zs for 2018 will go through the roof. And if you don't believe it, that's fine. You're entitled to not believe it. But I absolutely guarantee that in 10 years, you'll be one of the people that has the conversation that says, oh yeah, and I knew all about that as well, and I didn't do it. Oh, I wish I'd done it, and I never done it. That's that. Do you want to be one of those people? Because the one thing that you can't do is lose money on this information that I give you. It's not like I'm trying to talk you out of money. You can't lose money doing this. You put the coins away that I'm telling you to put away, how do you lose? They're still face value. So if what I'm talking about is a load of tosh, they're still worth face value, you still get your money back. Not costing you anything. I'm not asking you to buy them. I'm certainly not asking you to buy them off me. And I always say, if you get them off someone else cheaper than what I'm selling them, snap their hand off, because they're worth it. 2019 10p's now, you know, another ball game again, because they've made 2 point, I can't remember now, 2.2 million. Whatever they made, it's less than half of 5.2. They made less than half of 2019. And they told fibs about it and said they wasn't making them for weeks and weeks and weeks. But anyway, that's a different story. 2019, less than half the mintage of the 2018. Any 2019s you find in your change, they are going to go to above £50 each in 10 years' time. My estimation, 50 to £100 each in 10 years' time for the 2019 A to Z 10p's. And there's an awful lot of you, I can feel already, are going, he's on drugs. He's on drugs. But 6 years I've been doing this. You know, this is almost what you pay me for, but you don't pay me. But you do pay me when you buy off the site. This is what my customers ask me for, and this is what I give you. I give you the information as it is. This is what I sell them for, and I don't mind telling you that. So, or what I think they will go to over a period of time based on what I've already seen and experienced. And I want to see this video again in 10 years time. I don't want the next 10 years to go super fast, but I can't wait to find out if I was bang on the money, and I really think I am. I think the 18s will go 30 to 50 quid, and I think the 19s will go 50 to 100. There you go, www.thegreatbritishcoinhunt.com. And if you want to email us, it's tgbch, that's T for Tango, G for Golf, B for Bravo, C for Charlie, H for Hotel, tgbch@outlook.com, where you will speak to Logan, who can't wait for you to email him. Thank you very much. Bye for now.